David Frum is not a liberal firebrand. He's not a resistance influencer or a former Democrat turned Trump critic. He is, by every metric, a lifelong conservative, a senior editor at The Atlantic, former speechwriter for President George W. Bush, and the author of the infamous 2002 Axis of Evil phrase used to justify early U.S. foreign policy in the War on Terror. Born in Canada and educated at Yale and Harvard Law, Frum's pedigree and policy instincts were forged in the mainstream conservative establishment. Frum was once an insider at the American Enterprise Institute, a frequent contributor to National Review, and a strong proponent of supply-side economics and interventionist foreign policy. In the 2000s, he was viewed as part of the neoconservative intellectual vanguard. So when Frum broke ranks with the Republican Party during the rise of Donald Trump, it was not the move of a dissident. It was the alarm bell of a deeply committed insider who saw the foundation of his political tradition beginning to rot from within. Frum's opposition to Trump began in the 2015-2016 primary cycle. Unlike many Republican intellectuals who waffled or ultimately capitulated, Frum made his position clear. Trump was not merely a poor candidate or a flawed conservative. He was a threat to the integrity of American democracy. His 2018 book, Trumpocracy: The Corruption of the American Republic, detailed the ways in which the Trump administration used power not for policy goals, but for personal enrichment, authoritarian tendencies, and disinformation campaigns. Even then, Frum predicted that the greatest damage Trump would inflict wouldn't come from dramatic overreach, but from the slow erosion of institutional guardrails, what he called the normalization of lawlessness. When Trump left office in 2021, Frum warned that the authoritarian impulse had not been defeated, only deferred. In 2025, with Trump return to office and Project 2025 unfolding as a roadmap for government overhaul, Frum's tone has shifted from concern to outrage. On a recent episode of The David Frum Show, a podcast published through The Atlantic, he described the current administration as the most corrupt presidency in American history. From points to Project 2025, a nearly 1,000-page policy manual produced by the Heritage Foundation and other Trump-aligned think tanks as a blueprint for dismantling the administrative state. But he goes further. Project 2025 is not just about deregulation or political appointees. It's about legalizing impunity, replacing civil servants with loyalists. Rewriting ethics laws and monetizing foreign policy are not side effects. They are features. What we're witnessing isn't policy reform, Frum said. It's the conversion of government power into a private asset. Frum's analysis focuses on how corruption under Trump has evolved. In earlier administrations, corruption was often defined by associates, lobbyists, campaign donors, or rogue aides. But in Trump's second term, the corruption is direct. Trump's family businesses continue to profit from international dealings, including the creation of a Trump-affiliated cryptocurrency firm, World Liberty Financial, which recently received a $2 billion investment from a UAE-linked fund. Frum notes that laws such as the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act and the Corporate Transparency Act have either been gutted or ignored. The normal bureaucratic mechanisms for enforcing transparency have been sidelined. This presidency is a vending machine. Foreign governments insert capital and out comes favorable treatment. Frum's critique is not a repudiation of conservatism, it's a defense of its original intent. He believes in limited government, not lawless government. In his view, Trumpism is not a conservative movement. It's an autocratic, populist departure from the rule of law. He has urged Congress, including Republican lawmakers, to reassert its oversight authority, particularly around issues like emoluments violations, arms deals tied to Trump family enrichment, and executive orders that bypass normal legal review. In doing so, Frum echoes James Madison's warning that the real danger to democracy is not a foreign invader, but a leader who gains the trust of the people and then subverts the institutions designed to restrain him. Frum has outlined several core steps he believes are critical to preserving democratic norms, reasserting congressional power over foreign policy and trade, strengthening enforcement of financial disclosure and emoluments law, reinstituting career protections for civil servants, investigating Trump family business entanglements during official diplomatic activity. But most importantly, he argues for public vigilance. The crisis we face is not just about the man in office, Frum says. It's about whether the American people will accept a transactional democracy or demand something more. David Frum remains a conservative, but he is also a realist. He knows the Republican Party has been reshaped and that the space for dissent is narrower than ever. Still, he continues to write, speak, and warn, not because he expects to change Trump's mind, but because he hopes to awaken the institutions, voters, and constitutional conscience that still remain. In a time when so many have bent the knee, Frum remains standing, and that makes him one of the most important voices in American political life today. Thanks for watching. Stay stronger, stay smarter, stay informed. Like and subscribe for more information and updates.